Hello students, in our last lecture we did the cardinal concept of the utility. Today we will do its ordinal concept. Let's start with budget set as an integral element of budget line. Budget set is the set of combinations of two goods available to the consumer. It is the collection of all bundles that the consumer can buy with his income at the prevailing market prices. Suppose the income of the consumer is M and the prices of the two goods are P1 and P2 respectively. Now, if the consumer wants to buy X units of good 1, then he has to spend P1 into X amount of money. Similarly, if the consumer wants to buy Y units of good 2, he will have to spend P2 into Y amount of money. Therefore, if the consumer wants to buy the bundle consisting of X units of good 1 and Y units of good 2, he will have to spend total money equals to P1 into X plus P2 into Y. He can buy this only if he has at least P1 into X plus P2 into Y amount of money. Given the prices of the two goods and the income of the consumer, he can choose any bundle as long as it costs less than or equal to the income he has. In other words, symbolically, we can show the budget set as P1 into X plus P2 into Y should be less than or equal to M, that is his money income. Now it is clear that the budget set is the collection of all bundles that the consumer can buy with his income at the prevailing market prices. Now budget line. Budget line is also known as price line. Given his fixed income and the prices of two goods, the consumer can afford to buy only those combinations which cost him less than or equal to his income. Budget line is very important for a consumer as he has to make choices remaining within his budget. We can say that budget line is like Lakshman Rekha, beyond which the consumer cannot go as his income is limited. Actually, budget line shows different combinations of two goods which a consumer can purchase with his given money income and given market prices of both the goods. The assumptions for drawing a budget line are as follows. First assumption, money income is given and it cannot be changed, that is, it is limited. Second assumption, that prices of two goods are given. Third assumption, that whole income is to be spent. Let us take an example. The money income of Mr. P is rupees 10,000. Price of good 1 is rupees 10 per unit and price of good 2 is rupees 20 per unit. Now, if the consumer spends his whole income on commodity 1, he can purchase maximum 1000 units of it with 0 units of good 2. And if he spends his whole income on good 2, he can purchase maximum 500 units of it with 0 units of good 1. However, within these two limits, that is 1000 units of good 1 and 500 units of good 2, the consumer can have any combination of these two goods. But remember, units of good 1 should not be more than 1000 units and of that good 2, 500 units. Now, if we plot this data on graph, we will find the budget line or price line. On x-axis, we will take units of good 1 and on y-axis, the units of good 2. Interval on x-axis can be taken of 200 units as the maximum units of good 1 are 1000. Interval on y-axis can be taken of 100 units as maximum units of good 2 are 500. On x-axis, we will get a point on 1000 units and on y-axis, we will get a point on 500 units. Now, if these 2 points are joined, the curve which we will get is budget line and it is a straight downward line touching both the axes. The place of point regarding budget line is very important. The point may be outside the budget line, It may be inside the budget line or it may be on the budget line. Every place has its own significance, like if the point is outside the budget line, it shows that the desired combination of two goods cannot be obtained unless and until the money income increases or the price of goods fall. The place inside the budget line shows that the desired combination of two goods can be purchased with the given money income, and at the same time there will be saving of some part of income as you are purchasing staying within your budget. The place of point on the budget line indicates that the desired combination of two goods can be purchased but the entire income will be spent. That is, point on the budget line shows neither shortage of income as point outside the budget line shows, nor it indicates the saving of income as the point inside the budget line shows. Rather, it indicates that the whole income is spent. Remember that budget line or budget set may change if there is a change in money income or change in price of any of the two goods. Now, the second concept of ordinal theory is indifference curve. The concept of indifference curve was given by two English economists, Sir John Hicks and Professor Allen. Indifference curve means a curve which shows different combinations of two goods and each of these combinations gives equal satisfaction to the consumer. Indifference curve shows consumers' neutrality or disinterest towards various combination of two goods because they give same level of satisfaction to him. Before analyzing this concept, it is important to know that the concept of indifference curve is true only under certain assumptions. It means if assumptions are not followed, the theory of indifference curve may fail, it may not hold good. So, assumptions regarding indifference curve are: first, that the consumer is rational, means his aim is to achieve maximum satisfaction from the goods consumed. His second assumption is consistency, means a consumer is consistent or same in his choice. If a consumer prefers bundle A over bundle B in one period, then he will not prefer bundle B over A in another period if the quantity of goods in the bundles remain same. Third assumption is transitivity, means if a consumer prefers combination A over B and B over C, then he will prefer A over C. Symbolically, if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then A will definitely be greater than C. This is called transitivity of choice. Fourth assumption behind drawing indifference curve is that utility is ordinal. Utility means want satisfying power. Professor Alfred Marshall in his utility concept stated that we can measure our satisfaction, which was wrong. Practically, we can never quantify our satisfaction. What we can do is that we can give ranking to our preferences. We can state that we like this one more than that one. Hicks and Allen focused that we can only give ordering and preferences to our satisfaction like first preference, second preference and third preference. Let's make a table for drawing an indifference curve. Suppose there are 4 combinations of two goods, good 1 and good 2. Combination A, good 1, 1 unit and good 2, 25 units. Combination B, good 1, 2 units and good 2, 20 units. Combination C, good 1, 3 units and good 2, 16 units. Combination D, good 1, 4 units and good 2, 13 units. In the above table, the consumer gets the same level of satisfaction whether he is given combination A with 1 and 25 or combination D with 4 and 13. We can say that the consumer is indifferent. He is equal between all the combinations of good 1 and good 2. If the above table is plotted on a diagram, The line showing these combinations of good 1 and good 2 is known as indifference curve. Properties of indifference curve. Indifference curve is negatively sloped, means it is downward sloping. This indicates that if we want to increase units of good 1, as we see 1, 2, 3, 4, it is must to reduce the units of other commodity, that is good 2. Only then the different combinations of good 1 and good 2 gives the same level of satisfaction. Second property, higher indifference curve gives higher level of satisfaction. Third property, indifference curve can never touch either axis, because if indifference curve touches x-axis, it means that the units of good 2 are 0, or vice versa, which is not possible. Fourth property, indifference curve is convex to the point of origin due to diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Now the question arises, what is this MRS? MRS is the basis of indifference curve and modern theory of consumer behavior. MRS is the rate at which an individual will exchange successive units of one commodity for another. Example, if at the beginning the individual has a small amount of commodity A and a large amount of commodity B, then he will be willing to offer a large amount of B for an extra unit of A. As his supply of A increases, he will offer successively smaller amount of B for additional units of A. In other words, as the amount of good A increases, the rate of substitution between good B and A diminishes, and preferences of these kind are called convex preferences. We can say that MRS is the ratio between the marginal quantities of two commodities with which the individual is concerned. It could be defined as the ratio between the marginal valuations of an individual consumer. Shape of indifference curve is affected by the trend of MRS. Like if MRS is increasing, IC will be concave to the origin. Similarly, if MRS is decreasing, IC will be convex to the origin. And if MRS is constant, IC will be straight line downward to the right. And there is a point to be noted that MRS is constant in case of perfect substitutes, because in that case our rate of substitution will be equal to the rate of units which we get. We are discussing the properties of indifference curve. Remember, the most important property of indifference curve is that two ICs can never intersect each other. Reason being, a lower IC gives lower satisfaction and a higher IC gives higher satisfaction. But if two ICs intersect each other, it will show that satisfaction from a lower IC and a higher IC is uniform, which is impossible to accept, as we know that higher IC gives higher satisfaction to the consumer. Next property, indifference curve can neither be horizontal to the x-axis nor vertical to the x-axis, because units of any good cannot be constant. Next property, indifference curves need not necessarily be parallel to each other, because the rate of substitution between the two commodities need not be the same in all the indifference schedules. Now the indifference map. A family of indifference curves is known as indifference map. Each curve on the right hand side represents a higher level of satisfaction, as it represents greater quantities of both the goods. An indifference curve represents preferences of a consumer and indicates his taste for the two commodities. Indifference curves are numbered and are shown in ascending order, like the four indifference curves drawn as indifference curve 1, indifference curve 2, indifference curve 3 and indifference curve 4. It shows that indifference curve 2 is superior than IC1 indifference curve. Indifference curve 3rd is superior to indifference curve 2 and indifference curve 4 is superior to indifference curve 3. In short, higher the position of an IC, higher will be the level of satisfaction. Remember, each indifference curve shows different level of satisfaction. Monotonic preferences. For understanding this concept, let us take an example. Suppose you are given choice between 4 bundles A, B, C and D, having different combinations of 2 goods, good P and good Q. Table is 3 columnar, first column for bundles, second column for units of good P and third column for units of good Q. Bundle A has 1 unit of good P and 1 unit of good Q. Bundle B has 1 unit of good P and 2 units of good Q. Bundle C has 2 units of good P and 1 units of good Q, and bundle D has 2 units of good P and 2 units of good 2. In short, we can say bundle A has 1 plus 1, bundle B has 1 plus 2, bundle C has 2 plus 1 and bundle D has 2 plus 2. Now, which bundle will you choose? Obviously, you will choose bundle D as it has more units of both good P and Q, that is 2 plus 2. This is the only bundle which has maximum units of both the goods taken together. Preferences of this kind are called monotonic preferences. Now, merger of budget line and indifference map to show the consumer's equilibrium. The term equilibrium literally means a state of balance or stability. But in economics, it stands for best position, a position of no change. Every consumer is faced with the problem of how best to spend his limited income so as to obtain maximum possible satisfaction. When he achieves the state of maximum satisfaction, he is said to be in equilibrium. Simply, consumer's equilibrium means consumer's maximum satisfaction. It can be said as a position of rest because he does not want to consume less or more than that. This is a point where he feels no need to change. For obtaining consumer's equilibrium, budget line and indifference map is required. For this, we superimpose budget line on an imaginary consumer's indifference map. As we know, the aim of consumer is to obtain highest combination or bundle on his indifference map. For this, he tries to go to the highest indifference curve but within his given budget line. He would be in equilibrium only at such point which is common point between budget line and highest attainable indifference curve. A consumer is in equilibrium at a point where his budget line is tangent to the indifference curve. At this point, slope of indifference curve is equal to the slope of budget line. C. Combination on indifference curve which are outside the budget line are not affordable, and combinations on indifference curve which are inside the budget line gives less satisfaction to the consumer. Hence, optimum combination which gives maximum satisfaction is located at the point where budget line is tangent to the indifference curve. So, here the concept of consumer behavior comes to an end. Students, let us revise what we have done today. We started our chapter with the budget line or commonly known as price line. Budget line of a consumer can be drawn only if money income is given and remains limited and the price of two goods are given on which the entire income is to be spent. We discussed that budget line is a straight downward line touching both the axes. Then we did the importance of place of the point on the budget line, inside the budget line or outside the budget line. Next topic covered today is indifference curve. It is also drawn for consumer under certain assumptions like rationality of the consumer, transitivity of choice and consistency of choice. Indifference curve is a curve which shows different combinations of two goods. In choosing among them, the consumer is indifferent. We also did the various properties of indifference curve like touching neither axis, neither horizontal nor vertical to the y-axis, negatively sloped, convex to the origin, higher IC gives higher satisfaction, two ICs can never intersect each other. Then we did the concept of consumer's equilibrium. So, we are closing today with it. In our next lecture, we will start the concept of demand, its law, exceptions, movement of the demand curve, shifting of the demand curve, elasticity of demand with its three types. Thank you.